Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR. I'm stepping away a little bit by gaming, but not totally quite because these issues are also gaming related issues. Here's to all the people with different opinions. Everybody has a different opinion. Everybody, even those that have similar opinions to you, their opinions differ slightly on some aspect. And we're still friends because we're all adults. Peace, love, happiness. There's some key things here. And by the way, I shared this on Facebook and I got a lot of response and it got some really tone deaf, don't understand. I've got my own baggage coming into it. It's election season, yada 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 responses. So, and we're still friends because we're all adults. What does this mean? Well, it means that we were friends before we had our differences. Okay. And the vast majority of differences are stuff that isn't friendship ending, and it shouldn't be. Peace, love, happiness. It stresses good things. Now, when I went to my Facebook thread and I started going, all right, I got people on extreme sides of the aisle. I'm going to unfollow. I don't unfriend, generally speaking, unless you're a total dickwad. But I unfollow because I don't want to see your shit, especially during election season. Everybody has an opinion. You're entitled to it. I'm entitled not to have to be forced to see it come to my feed. And I was happy to see, I think, but all but one I'd already unfollowed. So this is because they were commenting on something that I had put up. Now, I put this up thinking, hey, it's the day before Election Day. The gaming community is getting tense. Let's remember, no matter who gets elected, we've got friends on both sides of the aisle and smack dab in the middle, and we should still be friends no matter who wins, right? And I'm going to tell you now, I'll tell you again at the end of this, vote. I don't care who you vote for. I don't care what propositions you vote for, what candidates you vote for. Vote. Your opinion is worthless if you don't exert your right to vote. I can't stress it enough. Can't stress it enough. So, I was thinking about someone, actually two someones, that were Supreme Court justices. And I was like, didn't they have uh, a special friendship, even though they were on opposite sides of the political spectrum? And lo and behold, what can we learn from Antonin Scalia and Ruth Bader Ginsburg's friendships? They were essentially the leader of the conservatives and the leader of the liberals on the Supreme Court. All right? They were, in many ways, political opposites, and yet they were best friends. Now, how does that work? Because if you look at Facebook, if you look at social media, political opposites, you disagree on one issue, you're a heretic. Well, these two were adults, right? Let's see how they handled it. There's a picture of the two of them sitting together. Sunday, and that article is 2 years old, so 8 years ago since Justice Antonin Scalia passed away. It's a fitting occasion to remember the late justice and his legacy, but one of the greatest aspects of his legacy has nothing to do with the law. It was his friendship with his ideological foe, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. The justices eventually came to represent the two branches of the Supreme Court. Notorious RBG anchored the so-called liberals, and Scalia led the so-called conservatives. Ginsberg and her Jabbets became the embodiment of dissent, notwithstanding her measured and methodological style of writing and speaking. Meanwhile, Scalia was known for his thundering take no prisoners dissents. How did these seemingly opposite justices become the best of friends? Their mutual devotion to the Constitution, while built on different interpretations, helped them build a mutual respect that would extend far beyond the courtroom. Scalia and Ginsberg first served together in the powerful U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit, often called the second highest court in the land in the 80s. The pair became fast friends, bonding over shared love of opera, good food and wine, and their childhoods in New York. Their spouses and children became friends as well, and the families often rang in the new year together with a gourmet meal prepared by Marty Ginsberg, and last provided by the rigorous Scalia. They remained close after Scalia's appointment to the Supreme Court in 86, and Ginsberg joined him in 93. Scalia once remarked of Ginsberg, "What's not to like, except her views of the law?" Of course. Despite their differences, or perhaps because of them, the pair maintained a close friendship that lasted most of their lives. They respected each other, understood that, though they had different approaches, they were both dedicated to the Constitution, the court, and the country. What I find amazing is that the people that were taking the most offense to the meme that I showed at the beginning of this video were the ones on both sides that claimed to be the most patriotic. They claimed that they were speaking essentially for the people, and they were the ones that didn't understand what the meme meant or found reasons to take offense where none was intended. One case, United States versus Virginia, highlights the Supreme besties at their very best. Ginsburg wrote the majority opinion, holding that a state university's exclusion of women violated the Constitution's guarantee of equal protection. The case was a culmination of Ginsburg's earlier work as an advocate seeking to topple laws based on sex stereotypes that ultimately harmed women. Scalia dissented, but he shared a draft of his very spicy and searing dissent, as Ginsburg later called it, with his BFF, a habit that went back to their days serving together on the DC Circuit. In Ginsburg's estimation, seeing the weaknesses Scalia identified in her opinion allowed her to sharpen her arguments, making the majority opinion stronger and more persuasive. In nearly 40 years of working together, Scalia and Ginsburg traded barbs in their opinions quite a few times, but they knew how to debate and attack ideas rather than individuals. And that's another problem with this goddamn social media. It's these internet muscles. People don't debate the topic, they debate the person. And these attacks become personal. If you can't win the argument, attack the person. They didn't do that. They debated and attacked ideas rather than the individual and took their disagreements in stride. That's an important legacy and something we should all strive for, particularly at a time when American society is becoming increasingly polarized. This article was written 2.5 years ago. We weren't even really in the election cycle. It's only gotten worse. In The Essential Scalia, Judge Jeffrey Sutton, a former law clerk to Scalia, recalled a visit to Scalia's chambers. The justice mentioned he had 24 roses to deliver to Ginsburg for her birthday, a tradition that went back many years. Sutton remarked, "What good have all these roses done for you? Name one 5-4 case of any significance where you got Justice Ginsburg's vote." Scalia replied, "Some things are more important than votes. Some things are more important than people's opinions, people's votes, right? Who cares who voted for who? I don't. I don't. I care that you vote. I care that you take the stand that you believe in. I don't care who you voted for. I don't judge a person by who they voted for. I don't judge a person by their opinions. And again, the people that got so butthurt and had to respond are inferring things that were never mentioned in the meme, never mentioned. They just come up with stuff because they are so engrossed in the issues that they can't see the forest for the trees. Respect, civility, and friendship are indeed more important than votes. Today, remember to these two titans of the law, look for ways to cultivate respectful debate in your life. Break out of your echo chamber and look for the Ginsberg to your Scalia. I just thought this. I know people can go, what does this have to do with gaming? It has everything and nothing to do with gaming. You know what? You might not respect the opinions of others, and that's fine, but respect the person until they give you a reason not to. And having differing opinions from you is not a reason to disrespect somebody. Can we have civil fucking discourse in this community, whether it's about politics or game edition or personalities? I mentioned this elsewhere, but people talk on the internet like they wouldn't talk at a bar, at a pub, because somebody would make them pay for the vitriol that they spew if it was in person. But on the internet, everybody says what comes to their mind and just, well, it's everybody has their own little echo chamber. All right, not everybody, but so many. Folks, I will remind you, this is November 4th. Tomorrow is November 5th. If you haven't voted yet, vote. I don't care who you vote for. I don't care what party you vote for. I don't care what issues drive you the most. If you want to be able to express your opinion on the results of the election, at least have some skin in the game. Cast your vote. Okay. Other than that, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice, roll them well. We are going to have some exciting live streams this week on this very channel. Wednesday night and Thursday night. Oh my God. Uh, World of Game Design. Jared Nielsen will be the special guest on Wednesday night, 8 p.m. And supposedly, I guess I should take Ken at his word, Ken Whitman will be the guest on the vlog of many things on Thursday night at 8 p.m. with Don, Tom, and myself. So you should not miss either one. All right, folks. God bless. Good night. Catch you later.